The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today is the Noyantis Youth Group. It's the 4th of December 2017. So yeah, time's pressing on. Myself and John are here along with a few attendees. As always, any questions, ideas, feedback, so on and so forth, then raise your hand, we'll open the mics and we will cover your requirements. So we've already got one open already, a question that is, so that's good. So we'll open the mic up. So we'll cover that in a second. Basically, just what I will do is just give you an update on feedback from last week's webinar. So during the webinar, we were saying it would be better if you could get information error reporting out of the Chilcat wrapper. So as you can see on the screen here, each one of the objects, this one happens to be the JSON array. That's kind of irrelevant. They have these particular values for you. Last error HTML, last error text, last error XML, and there's a couple of others as well. So what we've done is we've put them into the common class. So now, basically, you'll be able to call last. It's called GetLastError, and you can see there's a GetLastError HTML, text, and XML. So you've got that available to you for the Chilcat, and we will, in time, also populate that with maybe some from the CodeJock stuff. Because it's in the common class, we'll be able to use it in all of the products. So that's first and foremost. But then also, if we take one of our task classes, so let's say sticking with the Chilcat, and we have, let's say, just trying to find maybe the where are we? Google, as good as any. But we've got a question on that in a second. So you can see here, it does a connect. Now this makes use of a few different objects. It makes use of the auth Google class. It makes use of the socket class, the REST class, the file access class. So basically it makes use of a few of them. What this will do now, in this version, is we can't say, oh, just call Google class dot get last error, because yes, it will come back and bring you something, but what really was it? Because it could be any one of these particular items. So what it does is, as it's going through, if it detects an error at any one point, it sets a last error. So in the common class, we've actually created, in here, we've created a group structure for you. So your common class will have a group structure called last error, and in there you can see whether it's been set, so as it detected an error, and what the HTML version of the error was, the text and the XML. So at any one point you'd be able to query that. So if you did the connect and it returned you a false to say no, it didn't connect, then what you'd be able to do is check, has the last error dot set been set to true, and if it has, you'd be able to query the last error dot HTML, and that would have the error in there for you, and it would be directly related to whichever one had failed. Does that make sense, or have I just confused everybody?
Looks good. Looks good.
That's the idea behind it. So you can basically we can use it at the highest level, the task level, but it will basically trap the errors as going along and then won't overwrite it. So let's say the socket failed, then the error would contain the error of the socket, regardless of any of the others potentially being called or not, because you can have them. Any one of these would go and reset the last error at any time. So I store it at the time that the error is detected. Okay, so we've got a question in already. So that's David. So let's open the mic. Hi, David.
Hey.
So you've got a question on Google.
Yeah, and I'm kind of having the same issue. I think it was Roberto from last week with the Google. I'm trying to use the Google Calendar.
Yep.
But I can't get it to connect. And I tried even the about, and it doesn't show anything in the about. But it's in a DLL that's where I'm using the HTTP and a REST and a bunch of other.
Mm-hmm.
And those all seem to work. But the trying to connect to the calendar or trying to use the calendar, I tried to set the debug log or anything. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay. And I thought he was having the same issue last week, but I couldn't find the video from last week, so I just check with you again here.
Possibly not uploaded yet. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think on the about, because the about and version and so on and so forth all come from the common class. Then again at that one, that might not. Oh,
like the HTTP one shows up.
Yeah, I think it's because. But you're doing. I take it you're doing it on the task though. Task Google.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think on that you make a good point, because if it's the HTTP, then it knows it's talking to the HTTP Chillcat control. The JSON object is that, and the socket is that, and so on. So all them are talking directly to the control, but the task ones aren't. They're making use of a few of the controls. So although you can talk to them, the about and things like that won't actually do anything. Now you make a good point, because it really should do. So what I think we might, let's just try that ourselves. I'll just close this.
Okay. Yeah, I was only using the about just to see, try to see if it's actually loaded there, but I'm sure it is, because like I said, it's in the same DLL that I'm using for my other Chillcat stuff.
Yeah, it will be.
But for some reason, I'm not getting the connection, and I can't tell why. I don't get any results back.
That's the one from last week. Let's just open that. Are you on the latest version of the Chillcat wrapper?
Yes.
So I
think it's 70.
I didn't mean that. Sorry, I meant our template.
Oh, 1.2. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously you wouldn't have necessarily known about the GetLastErrors. But are they returning anything to you?
Not that I can, but that's kind of would be one of my questions, is what would I check to?
Okay.
Which value?
I
think I'm checking it like last status or something like that. Let me see.
Let's have a quick look.
Mine's looking at GetLastError text. I also use GetLastStringResult, but both of them show up blank.
Okay. Now this might still have the settings for using Roberto's. No, that one, sorry. Yeah, so I quickly change this, and it's giving us a 401 non-successful response back. Obtain access token, and so that should. I'll just check what they're talking to. Which methods? Right, so that's talking to the global there. Okay, after that, let's just have a look at what our task is. Okay, so CK Google. So you've got something like CK Google about. Is that correct?
Right. That's the only one that I have turned on there. I actually took the example, just pulled it in
Okay.
to my little DLL.
Now, I think I might know where that is. First one, yeah, that's not giving anything, and then the that is, and that's because the task class hasn't really got anything. It isn't directly linked to just one element of the Chillcat product. Okay, so what we can do there is, and we'll have to do it on all of them, is just take the about there. So and I'll release a new build. So we need to override the common one. Now, what this will do is there should be some kind of global somewhere set. Yeah. Let's just try that. So now the about would do, because so that first one would have thrown you and make it look like it's not actually connecting and so on, but now it is. So that fixes that particular small issue. It's a bit of an oversight really, because one thing all the task classes have got are access to the global class. In fact, what I will do.
Yeah, that's why I kind of went there first. I thought, well, I saw Andy do that, so it should be able to show me.
Yeah, no, it's correct. Just thought of one thing though. Belts and braces, I should really make sure it's set. Otherwise, that would give us a GPF for accessing a null object.
Oh, I got you, because it's never been.
Just in case it's not initialized. So, okay, so, yep, we're good on that so far. Now, I quickly just changed the connect on here. Oh, sorry, not on that one. So basically, if it was true, okay, and if it wasn't, then what it would do is come back and put that message up. So it's the task class dot last error group dot text.
Okay.
So at least that should tell you.
What's wrong here?
Yeah. So like for Roberto's, it was basically unable to obtain an access token.
And that was because of his JSON?
Yeah, it's quite possibly his credentials, or he's not set up in the Google backend permissions. I think you get read access though, to be fair. I think you get read access, but you might not get write access by default.
Yeah, I went through the whole G Suite setup. I think I got everything configured.
Are you using, because at the moment the example's only working on a service account. Are you using the OAuth 2?
No, I'm using a service account. Yeah.
Right. Then why? Because I changed this to use mine. I think Roberto's here, so I will just make a note of what account he was emulating, in case we need to go back to it for test purposes. But mine is dev@noyantis.com. Obviously it's tied to that service account. Yeah, and you should be able to connect and read accordingly. Unable to download. Why is that? Okay. No, I didn't expect that. So maybe we'll put some more diagnostics on here. Made hard work at that, didn't I? What have I missed?
Oh, we have an else, I think. Right over here, of -1, and then you have an else. I don't know. Is that
yes.
right?
Thank you. Would have been easier to type the error message in. Okay. Got a connection. That's not error. That's not bringing anything back.
Yeah, and I tried doing the set debug log too to try to trace, what you got out of that. Maybe you need to set the HTTP debug log or something, or the REST, or whichever one, whatever service it really ends up using. And trying to set it at the higher level.
The download. Let's just take a quick look at the download. Disconnect. Download. There we go. But last error, you see, I'd expect one of those to be populated. Yeah, I would have expected one of those to be populated. Tell you what, just 1 second. I've got another version of this. Just make sure that's which hasn't been changed. This is the one from the last week's webinar, actually. So let me just try the other one. Right, see something. Noyantis. So yeah, what's wrong with that? So if I bring that one, so we can connect. It's something in this one.
Your
Google service.
Your key file's different,
right? They should be the same, actually. I mean, I will quickly check.
Okay.
Yeah, I will.
You connected. You did connect, so that's kind of.
Yeah, so you get your token back. I'm looking for that folder, actually. Where are we? There it is. That's the API. Yeah, it is that same one. Very interesting. So that one is working. 13 events, and there they are accordingly. And on this one, I'll just make sure it's the same. And you're getting something similar to that, I take it?
Well, I don't get anything back on mine except unable to connect is where I'm at.
Okay, if
But
you
I don't get
change
anything returned
your
in the results. Or,
on the Connect, if you put that message on, can you tell us what you get?
yeah. Do I have LastError.txt in 1.2?
Yes, yep, I think you do. I'll quickly check that for version out there, but yeah.
Guess I can find out here real quick.
Yep, no, it's 1.2, which was released last week. On the Tuesday, I think.
LastError. Oh yeah, okay. Is that a function, or there's no parentheses after that? It's just
no, it's a property. So it's basically the task class dot last error, which is a group dot text.
Dot text. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Connect. Oh, now I do get something. Kind of the same thing, so there must be something wrong here. I get the chocat log. Yeah, it does tell me the date. The version did not find private key in JSON key. Did not find private key in JSON key. Using JSON key, get authentication key, private, failed, obtain access token.
Okay, let me have a look.
Did not find private key in JSON key. Huh.
Okay, so basically, I'll just open that and send it to a particular text pad. Yeah, so obviously you don't want to divulge the contents of the service JSON file that they've passed you, but if you just open it in some kind of editor, you should see the different parts to it. Your first part would be a type, be a service account. Then you'll have a project ID, a private key ID, and a private key. You just want to make sure that you've got all those elements in there.
Okay, let me see. Where am I? So I've got project ID, private key ID, and then a big begin private key. A bunch of.
So you have got private key.
Yeah, it's a big long. And then end private key, client email,
Client ID, auth
client
URI.
ID, yep, authorization token URL, other provider, oath, version 1 certs, client 509 cert. Let me see, and then the last.
So you are getting.
It's the long project name, yeah. And it says, type service account. I guess I can just go create a new one, right?
Yeah, just try that. I mean, should we obviously want to do that in private? We're going to say, do you want us to see your screen or?
Yeah, is it safe to do so? I'm not really sure when I'm going to hit those.
Yeah, actually, might just hang fire a second.
Those screens. So I'm going to my manage APIs, and it gives me an authentication number and all that kind of stuff there.
Okay, I shall do similar
I
on mine.
I guess I want to go into my developer account, service accounts, and then click on the service account name, right?
Just going to mine now. It's a while since I did it actually, so.
And then that says, let me see.
Yeah, you got your credentials. So yeah, basically you're in the console.developers.google.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
APIs and then credentials.
Yep.
Hang on. Am I logged in as a? I think I need to.
Let me see, API and then admin service accounts.
It's think I need to log out and go in as a different. So I'd not selected when you're in the Google APIs. So API/credentials. I've not selected the project at the top. So you've got a service account keys, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going at APIs and services, and then credentials.
Okay, and then you've got manage service accounts on the right-hand side.
Yep. And then I've got a service account there, and I go to view client ID. And on there, it says at the very top to download the JSON, and it gives the
That's right, yep.
service account. It says its domain-wide delegation is enabled for this account.
Yep.
And then that's the download, the JSON file that I'm using.
Okay.
And it ends up calling it like client secret and gives it a name. Yeah, did not find private key in JSON key. Using JSON key.
See, I'll re-download mine. Make sure we are similar. So, view client, download JSON as you say. Show in folder, and we've got our bring over.
I saved mine. I opened mine and then just saved it to the desktop.
Okay, I'm just going to bring that one. That's the webinar, last week's date, of course. There's the folder there, the file there, new JSON. So I shall point it to that one.
That's what I get.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
I tried it a bunch of different ways. I couldn't figure out anything. That was my Sunday. I did get the S3 stuff working pretty well, though. I mean, that actually went really smooth.
Very good, very good.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to be ambitious. I'm going on to the calendar here. I might have pushed it too far there.
See, I'm just having a quick look, just as you've got there. Does look a tiny bit different, actually. It's got a. That's not the same as my original one.
Google on the move.
In the one that I've just downloaded, it doesn't have the private key. Yeah.
You don't see the big private key?
No.
Let me see. I just re-downloaded mine. Let me.
Yeah, no.
Because I was reading from one that I had downloaded earlier too. So let me check mine and see. Oops. Let's see. Where is that guy? Oh, there he is. Oh yeah. No, you're right. He doesn't.
So that's the error which you're getting, and now with the new error reporting, at least you're getting the actual. You can read what the error is. So
it has the client ID. Looks like it's got a authentication URL and the token. cert and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have the.
That is different from the one that I created, in the past.
How did you get yours? I guess
those same steps. That's what's throwing me. I better do some checking on this week, and let's have a look at what we have to do. So I'm on service accounts. I can see the service. I'm just in the Google. I don't want to bring it because it's confidential information, so I'm not bringing it into focus on the for the video point of view, for the webinar point of view. But basically, in the Google console, I selected my project. I'm on service accounts. I can see the particular service account with the key ID, as we see. You can click on the permissions, click on the entity, and I can see who's got what permission. So that and Dev at Noyantis and Noyantis.com are all inherited from, don't say what they're inherited from actually, must be from the actual main account, obviously. And the only download you can see is basically by going on to the View Client ID. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have to have a look at this and see what's changed, because that's those steps, because they basically have still got the bookmarks in Chrome of where I created them. So no, not sorry, not at the moment. I'm going to have to do some digging and see what's changed, and how do you get your API? How do you get your JSON key now? Interesting that the old one's still working though.
Yeah, yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that one would still. Actually, that one functions and these don't. Well, maybe that's because it's formatted for the. You know what I mean? Maybe the call itself doesn't need to do it anymore. But if you do, then it doesn't care. Yeah.
No, I think you do need the. Oh, sorry, I was looking at one particular thing. Yeah, you do need especially at a service level, the private key for the service account. Definitely. Just have one quick look and see about. And we can bring this one into show. G Suite, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Create a service account. Let's have a look at what their help is actually saying to us. Create a project. We've both done that, correct? Mm-hmm. Enable the APIs. So, take it you've done that.
Yep.
Okay. Top left, go to that. Go to service accounts. Create service account. Yeah. Finish a new private key. Set to JSON. Enable that. Yep. Product name screen. Yep. Hit the create. JSON file has been downloaded to computer. Okay, back to. I'll just go quickly back to mine. No, sorry, Dave. I'm gonna have to do some digging for myself for this, and see where the actual see why we're not getting a private key.
What happened? Huh? Okay.
Something's definitely different on it. Just wondering whether it's actually under the project itself. Calendar API. I'm not seeing any articles where they're saying that things have changed. Typical of them, isn't it?
Yeah, weird. Huh?
Okay, register enabling API. API is enabled. Okay, go to the credentials. Got the credentials. Find out what you want to do. Calendar API. We say basically at this point I can bring this into show. So on here I've got one particular project. Got Google API. We'll be calling. So it'll be other UI. Okay, and I want it to go to access data belonging to your own application. User data. Just going to take it out of there just in case it shows anything. Oh, won't be a second. But it does look like it's downloading an OAuth2 JSON file, I think, rather than the one with the service account, and that's why you haven't got the private key in there. Yeah, that's what I've just done on here now. So I can see that, and if I do the download, yeah, showing folder, it's a secret. Copy that into a little JSON viewer I've got. Yeah, it's that hasn't got the key in there. So basically, that is it's an OAuth2 key, and that's what we're both downloading now when we're pressing that option. Whereas my original one is the service account key. That makes sense?
I think so.
So I've got that. I've got a service account keys. I've got my particular key.
So do I create another key? Is that
Service account, service-wide delegation as you've got. So we're both got the same. I think the download at the top. I can't see any other download option though. But yeah, that download at the top. I'm going to add another key.
Oh, now when I did a create a key,
Mm-hmm.
so I went to my service accounts, where we were before, and instead of the view client ID, if you do the little drop down to the right, there's like
That's
3
fine.
dots.
Yep, that's what I
And
was
then
just.
once I create key, and then it said it saved it to my computer. I don't know where it saved it, but it stuck it out there somewhere.
It's fixing the downloads.
Oh, and downloads, okay.
And that has got your private key in. So I've just brought mine down. Okay, so I'll just have that as new. Get rid of the other ones which I've just brought down. Sorry about this, everyone. Although it's what we're here for. Let's just close that
There it is,
second.
okay.
There's my. So this is a different new, if you will. It's just been brought in now, 1643. So now Google Connect is connecting with that key. Still saying I can't download, which I don't understand.
Mine comes back and gives me a non-success response status code. I get a 401.
Is there something underneath? Does it say anything else? Like off Google, unable to.
Response code 401, non-success response status code failed, and obtain access token is.
Right, and that's what Roberto was getting. Can you? Oh, it's got to be something else in the Google setup then, because I've just done the same steps as yourself, where you click on the manage accounts, you go create a new key, use the the little create key, you know what I mean, and then you get an option to do a P12 key or a JSON key.
Yep, mine's a JSON.
Right, so it's got to be on your permissions. You click on the permissions and click on that account.
Let me see here. So
At the top, you've got permissions.
Permissions, okay.
Tick your service account.
Yeah, I tried the permissions, but I just get a little drop down that says configure permissions for selected services. But it doesn't look like it actually.
Right.
Well, maybe there is. There's a little calendar access thing over to the side. Add members, search for members, owners.
You see, I do have the free on mine. I have my service account, the client. I have my user. I've created a user, dev@noyantis.com. I have that in there, and I have noyantis.com.
Where at?
On the permissions. So I've clicked the permissions. You have to click the service account, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the permissions for the selected service account, and you've got an add members and so on.
Okay.
And then you can do a search, obviously, and then under that, I've got my owner, 3 members, and they've got full access to all resources. And one of them is my Google user, dev@noyantis.com. One is noyantis.com itself, and the other is my service account.
So I'd say add members and then add one of the users and make them an owner. Is that what we're?
Yeah, try it. Well, is your service account not showing up as an in there?
Not on the right-hand side. It just says add members. Well, there's one owner and then one service account admin. Oh, I see. Yeah, there is a service account admin. Yeah.
Right. So that's a service account.
Service account guy.
Yeah, that's your service account. Yeah. Okay. So Adam, what's your user? Have you got? I've got dev@noyantis.com. So that's the user I'm emulating.
Yeah, I do have one user. He's the owner, and it's me. D Patterson at ProAssist.com.
Okay. So try adding that.
So now he's already there as an owner.
Oh, right. Yes, he is. Okay.
So I should just be able to use that account?
You should be able to, like I say, connect to that. I suppose if I try that, do you know? Yeah. So I can't obtain an access key there for that user. Okay, but I can connect with what the user has set up within Google. So your user should be DPass and so on and so forth.
So add him as a member there?
Is he not there at the moment? No.
Well, he says he's listed in owners. He's listed as an owner on the right-hand side.
With inherited, is it?
Yes.
Then to be fair, that sounds like it's right. I've only got 3. I've got Noyantis.com, which shows as an actual organisation. I've got the user, dev at Noyantis, and then I've got my service key. So, I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I mean, it looks like he's okay. Yeah. I mean, he's there as an owner. Now, I'm not specifically saying the Google Calendar here. He's just saying he's.
If I remember rightly, I'm sure there was one extra section. I'm just trying to find it for you under the console, where you do have to set the security. I'm just trying to find it for you now. So if you go to admin.google.com.
Yep.
I might be able to show this or something like so.
Now there I did that. So that one has a manage API client access, and it has my authenticated API clients. And then it's got the HTTPS Google.com authentication calendar.
Where? So you've lost me a little. Where are you?
In the admin console.
So
for the Google Calendar itself. You know what I mean? So for the Google account, when you go to do the manage API client access, is that?
No, can you see my screen? I think you've got admin console.
Yep.
Security.
Security, yep.
Now, there's definitely some settings under here. I forget where they were. G Suite API permissions.
Yep. Let me see. Let me make sure.
No, it weren't there. I'll just take this off because I don't want it to show, so just 1 second. There's one of the settings under here, and I can't remember what it was, to be honest, where you had to make sure you'd turn something on. Have you got the under the API reference? Have you got API access turned on?
I think so. I just got logged out here though, so you see, I gotta get back in as the. Oh man, come on. Yeah, shoot. I've got like a regular Gmail account, that's got the same account name as the
Yep.
as one of my user guys here, and it's causing a problem. So like when I try to log out, then it won't, it doesn't know how to get me back in again.
Right, I've got you.
Well,
I'm just trying to see if I can find this. Where I added this extra setting. There was, you had to set up the credentials. You've already got that. You've downloaded your key, so on and so forth. But then in elsewhere, it was a bit obscure. You had to go into another section to say yes, okay. And you also have to turn on the API for the calendar. It sounds like you've done that as well.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to go double check, but obviously I don't seem to be able to. So maybe if I just try to go from scratch here. Okay, and then go back into account preferences. And I want to go to admin. Let's see, so Yeah, sometimes these guys just don't make this easy. Account sign out. Just trying to get back to my admin guy. And I'm at the my. But guys. Wow. Payments line, yeah, delete account services. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what,
No,
because we've got other
I can't
questions.
get back in. So
I was going to say, what I'll do, what I think we'll do for next week's webinar then, is I'll create another project. I'll go through the steps one by one, and I'll add the dev at Noyantis to that particular project and so on and so forth. Make a note of all the steps, and then we'll do it live next week. It can just be a simple thing where I can just, delete it afterwards.
okay.
So, but that's the problem at the moment. It's going to be down to permissions because, like I say, you've got your token, so that's getting you partially in. But there, if I just quickly disconnect, try and connect again, you're getting that 400 or 401 obtain access token, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's because of, I think it's because of the user personally or permissions of that user.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what, what your problem is.
They just make that extremely difficult to.
Although to be
set
fair,
up and configure. Yeah.
the service account is a very powerful account. I mean, one of the other things I do need to also do as part of the demo is to show getting connection just for a normal OAuth 2. So we've got work to do on those bits.
I think that works, for just your general user access, but most of our programs and stuff are, doing this programmatically, like automatically or.
Yes. Oh, your service account is perfect for that, for heavy calls programmatically. So yeah, and that's why I have they have the permissions to emulate any user. So I can understand them, wanting to keep an eye on all that and so on, and make sure it's pretty locked down because them service accounts are very powerful. That JSON file is very powerful. I think on yours it's a permission thing. I really do.
Okay, I'll take a look and see if once I can log back in here somehow. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they can get a user account, mixed up with the domain account. I don't get that one either, but I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out here and see.
So, and I got your message about the HTTP, about the was it HTTP class? You wanted some methods adding, and yes, we'll get them an update out for you for next week for that.
Okay.
So, okay.
Sounds good. Thanks.
No problem. Well, so we couldn't get any further. We have actually pushed on a tiny bit further. You can see, that the key you were using was equivalent of an OAuth 2 key. So it didn't have, the file you were using was an OAuth 2 file, so it didn't have the private key in there. Now you've got
unless you create a new key, then it's not going to give it to you either. So it looks like, unless you do your initial, it's just that initial key create.
Yeah.
Where it gives you that information. Otherwise.
Yeah, the download option after that looks like it's just downloading the OAuth 2 JSON file. I suppose in some respects, again, it comes down to their security. If you've got the rights to be able to create it, mind you, if you're in there and you can manage, then chances are, you can go and create another key, so it's a bit pointless. But anyway, that's where you've now made a tiny bit of progress. In that you've got that. I think it's just down to your permissions. So if you can try that for next week, and I will also, not necessarily for next week, if you give me a shout in the week if you need us. But I will also follow through the steps of creating one straight from scratch, so we can cover it as a general thing for everybody.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.
Okie dokie. So, we'll just recap on that. Basically, within Google, this example is using a service account to access the data, which if you're going to, as we were just saying, going to do it programmatically, maybe you want to go synchronizing your calendar against the Google Calendar and so on and so forth, then yes, you wouldn't want just half an hour's usage or something like that and then to be cut off like via OAuth 2 or 1 hour's connectivity. You want to be able to do it so it's a continuous flow of data. And that's where your service accounts, which are very powerful, can come in. Can be a little tricky to set up and so on and so forth, and it's not something you set up all the time, so you kind of do forget it. You have to set up the service account, then you have to turn on the calendar API, and you have to give permissions to relevant users, and then the service account, once it gets a connection, can emulate any of the users that it's been told that it can basically have got permissions to. So that's what we've just covered there. All right, so Kevin's got a question on report control now. So Kevin, have you got a microphone? We'll open up. Hi, Kevin.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good morning. Well, I guess it's not as exciting as your new stuff you're working on, but yeah. So I'm using the report control template to show calendar events with the timeline at the top and a list of resources on the left-hand side.
That's right. I do remember.
And hopefully you've gotten my emails. I know you don't always reply because you expect us to talk during these meetings, which is fine. Couple things. One was a question: can the tracker view of the report control show overlapping appointments? And I'll give you an example of what we're talking, not so much conflict of interest appointments, but when we're in the regular calendar view, we have our technicians put in time cards based on whatever tickets they process.
Mm-hmm.
So as a quick visual check, we actually want to see 2 appointments per block. One is the ticket and one is the time card appointment. Then we make them appointments. But when you're in the tracker view, it doesn't seem to show overlapping appointments. It seems to like replace if it finds the same key.
Okay, so I think I get you. So let me just bring in the master, let me bring in the examples.
So, you know, like Kevin at 8 o'clock on Monday is overbooked. Let's just take the class example that you've booked him for two appointments. But I don't see how to show that on the track report control.
Okay, so just for the idea of the data, let me just open that and change the version.
And while you're doing that was one of my questions today. I couldn't easily find on your website what you've changed since the last version of your templates.
Yes, I need to put the page up. I mean, we do post it. It's on our RSS feed. It's on the Facebook. It's on the forums, the news groups. So we do put a detailed list, and of course it's in the template. But you want to look in advance. But we put the news article up there, but didn't put the link. So I'll put that on there so you can do that. But in the meantime, if you ever stuck, so go to the website, subscribe to the RSS feed, and you'll get the information in there as well.
Okay, that's what I couldn't find. So you say if I go to your website?
Yep, there should be a little icon for the RSS feed.
Yeah, when I click on that, I get a whole bunch of HTML. I'm using Chrome.
Okay, well, basically add that into your wherever you've got a news feed, an RSS feed like Outlook and so on. You can just add that URL, and then they'll come down for you.
Okay, that'll be great because I don't like to upgrade a template, especially when we're live production, unless I have an idea of why, what's going on.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yep. But we will do the news article as well.
I'm on your report control 4.01 templates. Which I don't know.
That's good. Yep, that's good. So let me just quickly change this to make sure.
And I'm using the report 18.2
Okay.
of the SCX, which I think is the latest 18.2.
It's going to be because I'll tell you what I will do. I will just register the older version. That one I'll do. Because I don't want to go revealing the key on the webinars and so on, so we'll just use an older version. It doesn't really matter which. Okay, so yeah, so you've got a, oh no, you've got a clash there, so we can see. So that's the data you're on about. So, if, or better still, if it was for the multiple schedules. So you can see for Billy G, you've got 1, and you could have 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're referring to. Oh. Okay, now from the track bar point of view, you're only having one row for Billy G.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm using the date and the technician's name as the row identifier.
Yep.
And each event unique key basically is the block identifier.
Yep. So now there are some settings. If I go past that, it'll jump past it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen an example, but not for overlapping. I think it would move the next one along. So I've seen some settings for whether to bump them along. We can take a quick look to see if we can find any settings to say whether they're allowed to be overlapped.
I searched their symbolic, their help file for all sorts of things like that. Just nothing came to mind.
That's our track control.
Yeah.
Item, yep, got that. Chart. No, so to do the I mean, will they only ever expect, I'm just trying to think workarounds and so on, would you ever expect more than one overlap, or will it always be 2?
No. I mean, we unfortunately we have a ticket and their time card, but a technician could be scheduled for 2 or 3 appointments by mistake at the same time. And on the calendar, it's quite easy to see that he's been overbooked.
Yeah.
He's a half-hour hangover from the previous appointment. You're saying, well, wait a minute, he can't be there within that time because it's a 2-hour drive or whatever.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's okay. What I was thinking there is you might have to, if we can't find any overlap, add multiple rows for Billy G, if you will, as you read in your data. So you go, okay, I know that you've got 2 appointments here, and yeah, basically add another row. So imagine that said Billy G, that would be Billy G, and that would be Billy G as well, or maybe leave it blank and so on, but then and show the second one as the clash. So for example, that's
Yeah, but then okay, so basically I have to do a lot of algorithmic things to figure out if I'm overlapping anywhere, on multiple lines and things. All right, well, we'll figure something out there. Okay, so that wasn't
well. I
available.
was wondering whether we could help out there, and as I'm loading it, 'cause do I keep a queue? I think I'm trying to remember if I keep a queue of the actual blocks, and if I do, I'll have the row, the start and end position.
You have a block queue with the ID object is key, row ID, and search value.
So I was wondering whether basically give the option to automatically add another row for you. So, the whole point of the webinars is to give feedback and, see if we can make things better and so on and so forth. So could look into that for you if you wanted. So if it detected that you was trying to overlap.
Put that on your task list because we definitely have multiple bookings and,
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. So if it detects an overlap on a block, so we'll just say, for let's example, let's move some of these so we can actually get a cleaner thing. So as it's loading in, we'll pull them down as well so we can see. Basically, it loads one, that's good. You get that at that position. If it was loading that there for the same person, if you will, then that would load fine. But if you was loading it equivalent there, then you want it to basically add another row automatically for that person. What it would have to do is basically give it the same row ID, maybe _2, _3, _4, something like that. If that makes sense, because each row has to have its own ID as well.
Correct.
So, but that's. There will be a few ramifications, but
so that's something for you to think about, which would be great. And the second question was, I can't figure out how to capture double mouse click or right mouse click on a block. You have methods for the rows, but nothing for the block.
Okay.
I want to double click on a block and then be able to pop up something or do an action, or right click on a block and do something.
Yep, no problem. Now I'm just going to go into this app because this uses the scheduling. Not scheduling, sorry, the track. So that is just as you've seen there, and you can see the thing. Now you can right click, and I have what they want to do on that. So you can definitely do it. Okay. I might have to crack that open and have a look at how I did it. So we'll have a look at that now.
Hopefully.
Sorry?
Hopefully double click?
Yes, you can double click. So I double click on that, and I'm on.
So it's nowhere in your documentation, and I couldn't figure it out.
Well, the block, that would be block accepted. Just like the double click on the row is row accepted, that would be block accepted.
Okay, I tried that and I wasn't getting a block. I have a trace in there. I wasn't getting a block accepted event.
Well, technically, the interesting thing is the control doesn't support double clicking on a block. So we do it. So you can see that I've just confirmed, which is its default action and so on and so forth. So I'm the one who's trapping the double click.
Okay.
So, okay, let's have a look at what we've got. You right click first. Let's focus on that. We'll get opening the demo application. Oh, sorry. that. Let's open up our that one will do. So we'll add some options. Row right click. Option 1, don't really matter. So,
But that's a row right click.
well, it's still technically, you're still going to be on the row.
Okay.
Sorry, you're still going to be right clicking on the control itself.
Okay.
Yep. So, selected, I was wondering about get selected. Oh. Okay, so I'll tell you what we could actually do then. Just while we're testing things here, let's go with row only option, and that is if let's just see if can we use the private variable? No, I guess we can do it that way. The row ID not equal to something like that, and we'll have a block only option. Again, we'll have that as an expression, but instead of the current row ID, we'll have the block ID. Try something like that. I don't know if that's what I used in the past, so but we'll just try it. Okay, so row is obviously enabled, but if I right click there, then that block one is. Okay, so that would answer what you're after, is that correct?
So what? Okay, so the way so if they right click in the row, that option 1 is available, and then
If I right click on a block, then that. So I want it under condition that I'm on a block.
What was your condition? I just want to type it in so I can see it generate.
Oh, it's all right. I was just checking that's the usability. Basically, what I've just done there is the properties you've got from the class. Oops. Is I'm just checking the clip. Self, because it's the class itself. Okay. Dot cur row ID. So you've got cur row ID, column ID, block ID, and they're populated with whatever is in focus, at that time. So for the row one, I'm saying the cur row ID is not equal to blank. So basically, have you got a row ID? And if you have, brilliant, you must be on a row. So enable it for that expression.
Curr, C-U-R-R or C-U-R?
CUR.
I can't read. It's too small for me to read.
Yeah, sorry.
Curr row ID. Okay. It gave me. You put a clip around it. Expression. Oh, okay. Expression true. Okay, and then the second option was you check the block ID?
It was exactly the same, but this time I'm saying Curr block ID.
Yeah,
and that's the expression, of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's good.
I mean, technically, I suppose what you could do. I'm not really a fan, but I like to always wrap my code and say if the clip of this is not equal to something, and so on and so forth. But some developers just say a variable, which means yes, it's got something in it. If that's the case, then you could just say a variable true. Oh no, because it would actually come back and it would insert the true code. No, ignore that. Stick with the expression one.
Okay, yeah, I normally override your row right clip and type it in myself versus using your template once I know where it's done.
Yep, fine. That's no problem. So
because we have complicated ones. All right, so that's how about double click.
Yep. Well, not actually. Let's just have a quick look. The double click should be actioning for you, but let's take a look. Options. See, I'd expect that to just come up on the block accepted. Yeah. Track.
Well, don't click on it.
Yeah, it should say here. So if I go on to block 12 there, it's 12, 11, yeah. So if I double click there, accepted, 11. So you shouldn't really be turning anything on that I remember. But it will be a tiny bit temperamental. Because the control doesn't actually support it. So just let me find the double click for you. Block accepted. Yeah, so I'm measuring what you call a hit test. So as you mouse down anywhere in the control, it will perform what you call a hit test. So I take the content of the hit test. I have a look. Have you done a hit on a block? Yes, you have. So that's good. We've got the block ID, so I make sure that we have actually got a block ID and so on. The block ID is calculated. Where is it? It's calculated from the hit test itself. So that will tell me that. But then basically there is a double click rate. It takes I know when you left mouse down. So I store the time of that, and then there's a double click rate. I'm just wondering whether you need to fine tune that on yours. I'm trying to find one.
I got a pop up message now on double click, but you really have to. I have to double click several times before it comes up.
Okay, let me see if we can find you that rate, double click rate. It's in the common class. Okay, yeah, so you could fine tune that. Double click rate is default to 75, so it might be that you want to bring it down. And I do that in the init complete.
Okay.
So it would be along the lines of self dot double click rate equals 50.
Okay.
That's in the init complete after parent call. I'll probably put it a little later actually as well. Don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh, so not in the init template settings. You don't do it at the end of that?
You could do, but because it's one which is interrogated at each time it's used, then init complete is perfectly fine there.
Okay. All right. I emailed you that, because now I'm trying to use the tracker for times instead of dates. Your template don't allow you to enter in 8,640,000 for 24 hours. So you have to hand code it. You have to, self timer, set timeline min max. So you have to use hundredths of a second from 1 to 24 hours.
Just you lost me there a little. Sorry, I was still thinking about that one. So
your timeline, your min max, your time, timeline min max.
Yep.
Try typing in. You're going from 1 second from midnight to 11:59 at night. So you have to type in 1 to 8640000, 24 hours. 8640000.
8640000.
Yeah. Well, it didn't let me. Is that?
I'm gonna say let's just fire up a calculator, make sure we've got that right. So 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 24 hours. 8640000.
You got a 0.
8640000. Yeah, that should be. Does it let me do it?
You have 4 zeros? Go back into it.
Yep. 8640000.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and for timelines, turn off auto calculate step. Maybe that was where I was having the issue. Yeah, maybe. You have to type in 180001.
180001.
Because I want 30-minute increments on my timeline.
Yeah, okay.
If you auto calculate, you set it to a minuscule number.
Yes, of course, yeah. That's 1 second. You want 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
1 minute.
And I tried that value. You get 0, half an hour, 1 a.m. and 1 minute, 1:30 and 2 minutes. You're off. So you have to do it 180001, or you don't get 30-minute increments.
Yes. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. 18001. Okay. So the step there. That's no problem. Let's take a quick look.
Yeah, that's probably what I got trouble on. So I went in and hand coded the rest of the other parameters. And also my set viewport min max. I don't think you have a spin bar on that too. The viewport tab. The next one.
Yep. Just 1 second. Just trying a thing here first. So.
It would be wonderful if your template said, "Is this a time increment, versus date increment?" Then you can say, "Oh, do you want 24 hours? Do you want 30-minute increments? Do you want?"
Yeah, let's do that. That's no problem. Like I say, the whole point of these is I mean, I
don't know how many other people are using the time report control in this method, but.
Well, it's as I recommended it to yourself. It is the way I would recommend going down that path. So right now let's just do that. So 180001. No.
3 zeros.
180001. Then why? Oh.
You forgot to get out of your app, didn't you?
No, it's I've not changed something on the template. So it was blatantly I'd done half a job. So 1 second. But I like the idea of just saying, okay, how do you want this to be represented, and then I'll calculate the values for you behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So that. 1 second, I shall write that down, and that can go in the next update. So, report control.
Is it a time, and you want, what is your time step?
Yeah, timeline format, basically.
Timeline format exactly.
So
And you want your time set at 15 minutes, 30, how many minutes? Just date entry, the number of minutes per step.
yeah, so I can think numerical, date, time, and custom. And custom is the get out of jail free. So where you do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so yeah, so I'll copy that because we'll need that on the other one. But in here we want 180001. You're kidding? That's not letting us put it in. But the template, I'm in latest.
I didn't see the template change. Did you have a min-max step thingy?
No, the template's here's one I prepared earlier. Step increment. N6 from 0 to 999999.
How many digits? 99 digits?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that should cover it.
Oh,
Is it not wide enough? So it's just blanking it out.
It was at 9. So I think that was actually a typo.
Not Calendar Pro. Oh, you did Report Control. Good.
Okay, time. 18123 there. No, it's still not allowing it. So what's its maximum it's gonna let us go to?
Okay.
Because it's got a comma in there.
Okay. You need underscore?
Well, I'll just put it as N7.
Make the box wider while you're at it.
It's template, you don't get control of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not that good. Okay, let's try 123. There you go. Thank you. Yes, it could do with being wider, but.
And what about go to the viewport tab, set viewport min-max?
Yeah, so we want it the same as that, do you?
0 to 216 followed by 4 zeros.
Okay.
And that's fine. Okay. It was because I couldn't do the step, I went in and hand coded the rest. So I apologize for.
Oh, no, fine.
Okay, so that takes care of that. So, okay, we double click. Okay. Okay, so block move, the block moved event, as you're dragging a block around.
Yes.
It really would be helpful if you had a block moved complete, because the block move gets triggered every minuscule amount you're dragging that block. But if I'm trying to reschedule an appointment, I don't want to update the database 500 times as you drag the thing around. It's when you understand what I'm saying?
Yep. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got there.
And the block move gives you every little, the time length and all that, as you make an appointment longer, shorter, or if you drag a block from one level to another level,
Okay.
that event is triggered all the time.
Yeah. Now, what I'll do then is I'll do it the same as we've got in the calendar. So in the calendar, you've got event, obviously instead of block, and it's event moving, and then event moved. So basically It's currently doing it and it's finished. Now that's because the control tells us what's going on. So I can pass that straight on to you. That's great. The report control doesn't have that. What it has instead is just block changed. So I'll take a quick look if they have. I can still do it. The good news is I can still do it, or I think I can still do it. There it is. Let me just quickly open the report control and check for you. 18.1 is as good as any. Report control. No. Oh. Sorry. I need to go on the track control. I say I can't see the event. So we have block changed, but we don't have block changing. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll introduce a block changing and a block changed. Changing will be the equivalent as it is now, and changed will be once it's completed. The only difference on those two will be, as long as I can do it, will be I'll just have to detect if the mouse is currently held down as the changed is happening.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, I am subject to it passing those particular tests. I think we'll be okay, but it will be subject to me it passing those tests. So, as long as I know the block's changed and they've let go of the mouse, then that's that's fine. I'll post it as a changed. And if it's still the mouse is down, then basically it'll be changing, but it'll be subject to it passing that particular thing. If that makes sense.
And that'll be if I return false, you won't accept the change. You'll snap back to where it was, like we do in the calendar.
Changing / changed. So add. So I've just got that. Sorry, say again then.
Basically, the calendar, if they're trying to drag an appointment to somebody else that they're not allowed to, I pop up a message saying you're not allowed to give your appointment away, and then I return false, and it basically negates your update.
Right. That doesn't have the ability, but that's not.
Okay.
That's not.
I can always just redraw the item. That's fine.
I was wondering whether there I've got block changed there. We don't have block selected, do we? Yeah, we do have a block selected. So how do I detect the block selected? That'll be on the hit test, I should imagine. Yeah, it's on the mouse down. You see, you can see here what they actually give us, and they don't have block selected, but I give you the block selected, and they don't have the thingy. So basically, what I'll do is I can do it that way. Store the properties of it on the selected, and then on the changed, if you return false, put it back as it was when it was first selected.
I mean, it just makes sense to me that there are times you wouldn't want to allow a block to be dropped. You don't want to have to redraw the whole calendar, or the whole report control.
Okay, so yeah, allow / reject. I don't know what I mean by that. So yes, that's no problem. See that? I like things like this.
Okay, two
things being used.
Two quick ones. One was their report control take timer. I have a timer on my window, but the take timer method was not being called, so I manually had to call the report control take timer. Is there a property I should have set on the report control to take the timer event?
No, the take timer is taken from the common class, and that should trigger via the normal when the normal. Oh, hang on, no, I'm thinking of one of the wrong ones. Let me just go back to the take timer.
So I actually had to put report control take timer in my timer event.
You got me wondering there whether it's actually going to be called. That I will have to look into, because I think that might be a bug.
Okay. So technically, if the Windows a timer, the calendar take timer and the report control take timer should trigger?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure about the calendar timer because I'm not using a timer on the calendar, but you may want to check it if it's the common class.
It's the common class, yeah. I mean, it gets implemented on each. Did you know it's on the take event? Okay, well, tell you what, let's quickly put a timer on this window, even though I know we're slightly over time, but where's the timer?
Down.
Yeah, I can't see if looking here. There's the timer. Oh, no, actually. Let's do it every 10 seconds, otherwise. We'll put a message on the window.
Once you do zero prop text instead of message, just the title bar gets updated, not pop. You don't stop your process.
Okay, so we've got that in there. Oh, window. And under here, we want RC clock. So we should get 2 messages every 10 seconds. And that is, of course, if I type it correctly. So, one, but not the other.
Okay, so that is an issue. That's good.
Okie dokie, won't be a second.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go to that. So a window and then the RC.
Okay, so you did fix it. Okay.
Fixed it. It's just in the common. So, yeah.
All right. And then the last question is being able to remove the slider to be at a position that I want. The little slider at the top.
Yep.
I can't find it, but even going to a set OCX command, there's no slider object, or at least I don't know what the slider object is.
I've got you. Yeah. So you want to this one? You want to move it to say there?
Yeah, I want the report, the calendar to open up with it placed within a 1 hour bracket of now, because it always opens it up at 0, and I want to move it to whatever time of day it is.
Yep. Okie dokie. What do I even call that? Viewport, isn't it? No, it's not.
No, the viewport is the one below it. They call it the slider.
Let's go this way too. It might be easier.
Yeah, in their document, current time visible in timeline is controlled by that slider at the top. How did you find the slider? It talks about the time slider background, but that doesn't help really.
Just trying to GetLastError viewport timeline min. Don't come under the work area, does it? Oh no. Top tracks. Okay, so let's try something like that. So I'm just going to use the init complete.
Because I added a marker at the current time, and in the timer event, I'm moving my now marker, so it jumps as the time changes. But that doesn't move the slide control on my initial open. Okay, I have mine as a 6-hour port, but that's okay. Oh, that's work area min-max. Okay, sorry.
I'm just trying to think. 30,000. I would have thought that would have moved it for us. Okay. So we shall say, okay, min is work area min. Let's just check it is the work area that we're talking about here. I think it is, but six three nine six four two. No, whatever that. So it's not the work area. Okay. The work area specifies the current work area within the timeline.
If you go back, can you bring up the program? I can show you. Bring the program back up, the executable. The work area, oh, you don't have it turned on. There's another.
Oh, right. Okay. That's so.
There's another slider that's available. I turned that off because it was confusing to the users. It's work area header or something.
Ah, okay. So what we're after here is now we can see. Yeah, sorry. So that's your work area. Yeah. Okay, there.
Yeah, it's the header there.
Work
I'm not interested in that.
Work area. So that's the work area. We want whatever that is above.
They call that. It says current time visible timeline. There. That's the screen I'm on. They don't really give it a name.
Visible. Okay. Timeline position. That could be. Actually.
No, the timeline. If you look at your picture again, the timeline position is a marker. Go back to your picture. That timeline position, the blue one.
Yep. Timeline label. We know that that's the painting of it. The position changed.
But there's, okay, if you go back to the picture that tells you all the components of the tracker control, they have it labeled as current time visible in timeline. No, that's not the right picture. Go back. There, see the dark purple line on your left? Current time visible in timeline. So I think that's the slider. They're pointing just at the little bitty slider.
Poor calendar. Okay, it won't be a second.
Hopefully I'm not taking up other people's time.
Visual track control. Just have a look if we've got anything on anybody on the Kojak one. Got release notes. No. Okay. Wow. I'm not actually seeing the thingy, to be honest with you. I'm not seeing a property for it.
It seems logical to me to be able to move that to the current time of day or the current day of the month.
Yes, agreed. But might have to go in as a request to them, because if we can't get to the actual raw object. Yeah, markers, track paint managers, not there. Timeline, won't it? No. I'll have one last one in there thingy, so it's a visible time. No. No, sorry about that. I don't think it does.
Okay. do you have a process of contacting the code jock and asking them about them?
It's really just the same as yourselves. They might listen to us a bit more, but yeah, basically it's only really they're more or less the same. But I do know them. So I think it's Kirk who works on this. So yeah, I shall ask him. Get/set visible time line properties. Because if he's going to open it up, he might as well open it up for all of the things. Must be missing something there, but yes, I'll drop them an email on and see what they say about that.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
So basically,
obvious.
We're just starting to test this. I can't release it to my users until we get some of the block move changed and overlapping appointments and stuff. So I wait patiently.
No problem.
I patiently wait patiently.
Tune in next week and we'll see what we've got for you. How's that sound?
I appreciate it.
So,
do you prefer emails at support or at Andy? Because sometimes you don't.
Yeah, we've been away for that week over in France, even though I was still working and so on. It wasn't. It was more contract work than templates and so on and so forth. So still playing catch up on a backlog. To be honest, I mean, support is the better one to get me on because it goes to a couple of lists that way. So support is the best one to go to. But then obviously, if you are able to tune in here, then you get immediate answers. So your Monday webinar is the best for me personally. Unless you need something, a quick answer immediately, the Monday is a better one, and you get enhancements and feedback along the way as well. So
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're well over time, but we've just got a couple of quick questions. Where there was Bijan. So yeah, Kevin, I'll just mute there. But thank you very much. Actually, I'll just leave it open. It's a general thing. So Bijan, if you're still available, have you got a microphone?
Yes. Hi. Yes. Can
Hi,
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. Yes. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Andy. I'll basically be doing the same thing Kevin is doing.
Yep.
I was just watching and I noticed that I need the same exact things, especially when it comes to time scale. I think he's asking for the same exact features.
Yeah, and they are quite common. Like I say, this is one of our apps. And
because the thing is that I also have to manage the drivers kind of like time and
so that's mine in the day, so it's exactly the same.
Exactly.
It works out from the calendar, the working hours and so on. But yes.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I think that if you could find the answer for him, I think I'll definitely need the same exact thing. As far as the HTML editor, I did notice that there were some trappable keys that you could go in there and trap the keys, because I noticed that the delete key is not working. So do you know what's the workaround for that?
Well, to be honest, I think I said on the email, I was aware of that. Oh, sorry, on Skype, but yeah, I was aware of that. But I also thought it had been corrected, and I thought there was code in there for that. So yeah,
if you look at the example that you have, does it work for you?
Let me just have a quick look at the del key.
Because even my example app, it's not working.
I will look into it. I am actually doing some work on the HTML editor to allow you to just some simple methods to store signatures, so you can actually store maybe like an email signature and then insert the signature. So I'm adding a new method for insert file. So instead of insert at the current position, insert text, you'll also be able to specify a file, like a signature file, and it'll insert the contents of that file at your position and so on as well for you.
I see.
So,
yeah, if you could please, look into that, because
look at the delete key
we have
at the
to
same
use
time.
the backspace. Yeah, we have to go and use the backspace to delete, characters. If you could find out what, and then what's the latest OCX date that you have on the on the HTML?
Mine, 1 second. I think it's still the old version, 3.2.2. I don't think it's changed for quite a while now, actually.
3.2.2. Okay.
Let me have a quick look at the date, though, as you say.
Yes, that's what I have. 3.2.2.
Yeah, so it is 2011, 14th of Jan, 2011.
Yes, that's what I have also. 12.2.11 is what I have. So yeah, we do have the same exact versions. Yeah, so I think if you could.
I think he sent me a beta, actually. He did send me a later beta, but I'm not sure what the status was of that. I can chase him up. Although the last couple of times I emailed him, I don't know if he was away on vacation because he didn't come back to us. So I'll chase him up. There was another matter anyway, actually, about regarding the sale. But yeah, I'll see if is it still being developed and what's happening with it, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, send me that. If it's an OCX that can be replaced, maybe I could test it with the latest beta version that he has, and check that. And also, if you look at in the embeds, you have, I mean, in the template you have a way of trapping keys. I was wondering what can that be used for? Like, could it be used for the delete key? Like, if you go into the HTML editor template, you have a tab for trappable keys.
Yeah, well, you have that on all of the products, but yes, so you can trap them, the keystrokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I was just wondering what would be the use for that. Like, could that be used for the delete key? So
yeah.
That we could.
Technically, I mean, you can any key, you can use it for any use that you want in your application.
Sure. I mean, like, so like if we trap the delete key, how can we send delete to the object? I was experimenting with that, but I couldn't get far enough with it. If you look at maybe the blank editor, yeah, that's a good example. Just to go into there's this tab for the keys.
Well, that is on all of the products.
Keystrokes. There's a delete key.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you just press delete key. So how would you be able to?
So that is on all of the products. So then, when you've told it to trap a key, then in the template itself, you'll have a keystroke, and that gets the actual keystroke passed to it. Takes the parameter of param key code. So I could say case param key code of delete key. Let's just make sure we've got.
Yes, cool.
Where are we? So I press the del. No, it's not trapping that. It's not pressing the del. So it's not trapping that. Should do. Not seeing the del as a special case or what. So for example, let's add F4.
Hello, Kevin speaking.
Hey, it's Jody. How you feeling?
Okay, now that didn't actually seem to trap that key neither. So we better have a look at that. Okay, Bijan, I'll have a look at that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that would be great. If that's really the only thing that is kind of an issue because I've released it already, and they haven't actually. I'm sure they're dealing it with just the backspace. I haven't got too many calls about it, but it's just something that makes it easier. We could use the delete key.
Yeah,
Great.
because it does chat some stuff now. Just quickly open. Just wondering, is anything on here at the moment? Delete file directory, no. No, nothing obvious. I will have a look at it. I would say work is going on at the moment with the HTML editor to do with signatures because somebody else requested that particular change. So I'll look at it at the same time.
Yes, and I definitely will need that too. That would be great if we can store the signatures. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, no problem.
Great, thank you.
Okay, now we're way over time, so I'm just going to quickly open up because we've got a couple more. David, are we still here? So, David, did you say you'd made some progress?
Yeah, it looks like in that admin console in the G Suite security.
Mm-hmm.
When you go into installed apps, I don't see any, but there's a trusted apps tab there. You can click on add, and I noticed on yours it actually you had Windows as one of the options. Mine just has like a web, Android, and iOS.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to think then. Yes. Where is it again?
That's in that G Suite security. That's in that. So you're in security, and then at the very bottom there, the G Suite security.
I'll just go back one. Let's log me out.
I finally got logged back in.
Okay, so got security, basic settings, two-step verification.
Yeah, at the very bottom, you got the G Suite.
API permissions, is it?
No, further down.
Oh no, the bottom of mine is. Let me just bring that in. The bottom of mine is G Suite API permissions.
Yeah, that's him. Yep, that's him. Okay, so I go into here and it's enabled, and on the calendar, oh, yours has one app. Also, so on the calendar, yours has one app, 0 users.
Oh yes, okay.
Mine just says.
That's my. Oops, let me just move that off. Oh no, that's just that app there is its own, the Google API Explorer for using basically their own history, if you will.
Yeah, mine just says apps using calendar, and there's no 0, there's no 1.
For the calendar itself, have you enabled the API?
Within the admin console?
I'm just going to quickly look myself now. Where is it? It comes under there. No. There's so many options in it.
Yeah, so when I go to security there, and then I go into apps, that app is not listed. So I can add a trusted app, but there must be a way to add the app to the list in the first place that I'm missing. And the app, I'm assuming being that service account. Yeah.
Yeah. Missions. No. Do you know? I already did it before, and now I can't see it again. Definitely need to make a full set of notes on these. Yeah, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah, and that seems to be the issue there for mine. So the the app isn't installed there, but if I go and manually add it, then the choices that you get though are not Windows. You just get web, Android, and iOS, and that's it.
Right, no, I'm not seeing it. I'll have to have a look. I'll get a write-up and we'll continue it, because I know Roberto is also, he missed the start of it, but Roberto, just open yours because he was asking about the same. Hi Roberto, I think you missed the start of the webinar, but we covered this.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we covered this with David's setup. We found, basically, just let me rewind.
Oh. I can download the webinar and look at it. But I think one of the problems is that we're not setting up something right.
Yeah.
Calendar.
We basically covered, if you've got the 1.02 build, then it's got some new error checking in for you. So do watch that at the start.
Oh, okay.
So that's got.
I think I have that installed. Think I have that.
So that's.
How do we know if it's 1.02?
Of our template, it'll just say on the.
Okay.
Yep, on there. So yeah, if you go for that. Now on the, let's say, Google Calendar.
Yeah, I have 1.02 exactly.
Ah, brilliant.
Oh, but you're the one that, since I don't have the Chilk yet and I can't get it to start up in demo mode, you sent me your demo with your free,
Yes.
registration, and that's what I was using. So unless you sent me an older app, I don't know.
Quite possible, yeah, because we did some changes the next day on it. So yes, quite possible, to be fair.
Okay.
Well, basically,
send it to me again then.
Okay. Well, there'll be some other changes as well. So yeah. But now you've got this at the task level, the task class. You've got a last error group, and that will be populated with what's happened.
Right. That'll help us a lot.
Oh yeah. Do watch the start of the webinar, and we cover.
I will.
Now
right.
on that, if I switch to using your key, and try and we kept it just in case we needed it.
That's what it is. Our rent, I think.
And now you'll see it's saying unable to obtain auth token.
Oh, okay. So what do I need to do?
Well,
did you cover that in the beginning?
That's what David's up to. Now, I recreated a key before. If I try and connect on that, it won't allow me, because
the username is
exactly
wrong.
That username is nothing to do with that key, which is what we'd expect. If I put in, let's say dev1, that will also fail. But I've got dev enabled, so if I go to dev, there you go, connection.
Okay. All right.
We've got a thing on the download which I don't understand, but we'll take a look. So, but basically. The download works on the other example, by the way. It's something in this app, something in this for some reason on this one. But yes, basically, I think there's a setting now. I remember this. I think it was July when I first came out with this. But yeah, when I started doing the work, it was before then. You had to create a service key, because this is still accessing on the service key. You had to create a service key. You had to do permissions and enable the API on the calendar and so on and so forth. You did all that, but then there was one other place, and it was over elsewhere in the away from where you set up the service key and so on and so forth. Right. Away from all that, and I found a Google help which told you need to go to this place. You go to security and you have to turn that on. And I think that's a step that
I tried everything. I mean, I tried all kinds of stuff, even doing all that, but I couldn't get it to work. So
yeah, no, there is one particular other place, but I'll have to dig it out and find it for you, to be honest, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But
yeah, we need to document it.
Exactly, we're going to have a look at doing that this week. So for next Monday, we'll continue with it and see if we can get that sorted.
Yeah.
So
I might not be. Well, I might be around. I don't know. I'll be in Mexico next Monday, but we'll see.
well, if you are. Okay, so that's that. And then last but not least, we've got one. Robert's finally attended one of our webinars. So Robert's been with us for quite a few years, actually. So, hi, Robert. Got your mic open.
Good morning. Yes, I do.
So, now you were saying, I think it was feedback on the track bar. Was that correct?
That's correct. I don't know if it's right or not, but it seems to make sense that if you change the view period, that's what's going to be centered on.
So you just speak up a little. Your microphone is very, very low.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I moved it out of the way just in case you accidentally unmuted me.
Okay.
But, could you just change the view period? I can't remember exactly what the parameters were, but that's the active screen that you're looking at. And so I think if you just change the start of the work period or whatever that may be, maybe it just highlights a different color. Remember, I am a complete neophyte when it comes to CodeJock.
So we're talking about this.
Yeah,
Well,
if you change the time frame from 180.001 and move that up to 126.007. Oh, by the way, the increment should be 180,000, not 180,001, as you can tell by the numbers there.
Yeah.
Because they don't end in 1.
So, but no, I think he still wants that scale to be the overall scale, but he just wants that position to start, say, over there instead, or maybe there instead, something like that.
Okay, so that defines the entire scale then.
Yeah, that defines the overall scale.
Okay.
That's the work area. This other bar that you can see, like don't know if it comes across in the webinar, but there's like a little faint blue.
It's
highlight.
Okay, I thought that might have been the case.
Yeah, but no, the other one, you still have to set the overall scale, and then you're basically just looking at one portion of it, if you will, and you can resize that portion and so on and everything like that. But we just want to be able to get to the properties of this particular item itself.
Okay.
And it seems like a glaring omission. I agree with Kevin. It is a glaring omission, but I can't see the actual properties for it.
Yeah, it seems so obvious that it has to be there. It's just very cryptic and we can't find it.
Yeah, basically. And they'll go, oh, you mean such and such a thing, and then everything will drop into place. It's just, what is the such and such thing?
I was wondering if you could use Snoop to actually get in there and see all the properties.
Snoop?
Have you played with that?
No.
Okay, Snoop is a little debugger. And a visual debugger so that you can work WPF and XAML stuff on screen. Just search for it, put Snoop download or something. And my little brother uses it a lot, but I'm not sure whether you need an actual WPF.
I've got Snoop Dogg come up.
No. Not that one.
Right, yeah, I've got the WPF spy utility.
Yeah, you'll go in there and he'll actually go in there and change stuff around and colors and everything on the XAML stuff. And so if this screen is actually XAML, it should go in there and be able to modify all of that.
Maybe
you'll be able to.
Very much doubt it. I don't think it is XAML personally.
You don't think so?
Not necessarily. No, I don't think so. Might be.
I know the charts are, right?
I mean, could try, but I
don't know. It might not.
I'll drop them a quick email first, to be fair, though.
Okay.
Because you still need to know what the it's all right getting to the runtime properties, but I still need to know from a program point of view what the raw object is. So I can get to its properties that way. So I still need to know how to get to the actual object.
Yeah, I remember when he showed me, because he showed it with our charts that we did, the gauges.
Yeah.
And he would just get in there and change everything with the debugger and colors and everything. I mean, it was just incredible what you could do with Snoop.
Wow. I shall. I'll bookmark it and take a look.
Yeah, it's kind of like Firebug, but for changing CSS and all that kind of stuff. But for XAML, it's really neat.
I've used it, but then again, it's not a debugger. It's not really letting you change properties, but I use a thing called WinID, which basically gets you object names and so on and so forth. But it would only return the object for the overall control. That's why I know TextPad is written using CodeJock, because I got the WinID and it came up with the CodeJock stuff. So it was like, well, extreme, this, extreme, that. It was the case of all. So TextPad technically uses CodeJock.
But not the ActiveX version, right?
No, it's a C.
No.
Well, MFC, I should say. So, okay. Well, we are way over time. 2 hours 20. What a one of the larger webinars, that one. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Definitely got some work on for next week, but that's good. We like feedback. I'll thank everyone for coming, and I shall see you all next week.
Right. See you.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Cheers.